Welcome to another FPL video. Now, before I go into the team reveal for Game Week 3, I have to say thank you to everyone who watched my last video. Nearly 10,000 views, which is a record on this channel, and just very grateful for all the views and also all the comments, all the discussion that was sparked from the video, discussing my team, your teams. It was very, very good, and all the likes and all the subscriptions, and we're not talking about medical subscriptions, we're talking about actual subscribers. So thank you to everyone who showed support in the last video. I really appreciate it. And if you like these team reveals as they were requested, then I will continue doing them alongside the preview. So in the preview, I will offer my initial thoughts following a game week and review my team and then discuss my days going forward. And then the team reveal, I obviously reveal how my team's going to line up for the next week, who's going to be my captain and why, and all that stuff. So kind of break those videos down. But thank you to everyone. Now, obviously in my last video, I was at least contemplating the idea of a wildcard, and because I took a -8 hit already, which I was happy with because they were transfers I wanted to make and they're all upgrades, but I still had in the back of my mind I could wildcard, I could sort out my goalkeeper situation, I could sort out my bench, I could also improve in terms of value for money in the defense, and also have a more long-term option in Castagno over Justin, and yeah, I could pretty much have Jimenez in for Werner. But I will discuss why I chose to do what I did. And this is how my team is looking for Game Week 3. So no changes at all from what I had in the preview. And the reason why is because in terms of wildcard, I think it was a bit of a luxury to use it. And I don't think it would have been worth it. Because changing your keeper, like I said, it's worth it on a wildcard. Apart from that, not so much. But either way, McCarthy has Burnley away and West Brom at home. Southampton can still improve, even though I don't expect them to do so anytime soon. And also, I'm happy with my defence. I mean, if you look at that, yeah, Mitchell might not get a clean sheet against Everton. Trent might not get a clean sheet against Arsenal. But Saiss and James have good fixtures. They can maybe even get attacking returns. Same with Trent even, he can get an attacking return there. Mitchell's been very good in the first 2 game weeks, and I'm now finally putting him into my starting 11. So in terms of the defence, pretty happy with that. And then you look at the midfield. Yeah, I took a -8 to bring in Saiss, James Rodriguez and De Bruyne. But yeah, the midfield is very solid. And a lot of people are having obviously a similar midfield to that. And they are wildcarding them in. But yeah, I'm very happy with the midfield. And I don't think I need any changes from that. And then you look at the attack. This is probably the main reason why I decided not to now. As much as I want Jimenez, and if Werner blanks against West Brom, then he's definitely making way for Raul. But Werner has West Brom away, and West Brom concede the most chances, the most big chances, and they have the highest expected goals conceded. And yeah, they had 10 men for pretty much over half, just over half against Everton. And against Leicester, they conceded 2 penalties. But that doesn't take away from the fact that defensively they're very poor. They have some decent attacking quality with Pereira, but defensively West Brom are a shambles. And Chelsea, yeah, it was Carabao Cup. They played Barnsley, but they won 6-0 without Werner, sorry, and Havertz got a hat-trick. So Chelsea do have the capability to click. Now, as I keep saying, with Chelsea, I really want to see Pulisic and Ziyech play because I think that will bring out the best of Werner. So there is a possibility that Werner blanks against West Brom, even though it's a small one, and then after that, when they play Palace and Southampton at home, those two will be back, Ziyech and Pulisic, and then Werner will actually deliver. But of course, then you have Jimenez to take into account. He's got Fulham at home after West Ham away. So it's a very tough thing to take into account, but on a wild card, I would most likely be getting Werner out, and I might be missing out on his points against West Brom. But because of that, and all the other factors, like I said, it's a bit of a luxury to get rid of some of the other players I had. And a -8 is in itself essentially a mini wild card, and I'm happy with my team going forward. From the beginning, when I was looking at Game Week 1, I was also looking for the next 5-6 game weeks, and that's why I think I'm well prepared for that. But of course, if things change with suspensions, with COVID-19, with injuries, form, rotation, fixture pile-up, all of this stuff, then yeah, I will consider wildcarding. And it's not a question of, oh, I have to leave it late. I just want to use my wildcard at the right time to optimize the points. And right now, I don't think I'd get many more points by playing a wildcard than if I just stick with this team. So why would I do it? So yeah, that's how my team is looking. And I did discuss the captaincy options in the last video, and I said it's definitely between these 4: Salah, De Bruyne, Son, and Werner. However, if I look at it and I break it down, I have switched it from Salah to De Bruyne. Now the reason for that is one, Ndidi is injured for 6 weeks, so he's missing the game against City. And yes, Soyuncu and Evans are back, I believe, but Ndidi's not there, and he's a big part of Leicester's defensive capabilities. And De Bruyne, the way he looked against Wolves, he was just electric. He was so good, and I obviously brought him in before his performance. I was always going to bring him in, and yeah, and I also had him captain. I made him captain before Ndidi got injured for 6 weeks, or it was revealed anyway by Leicester and all these sources. But I don't know, like with Salah, yeah, he's playing Arsenal. Arsenal, in terms of defensive stats, aren't particularly great, but still, I just, with De Bruyne, it's a bit of a safer pick. I think City will score more goals against Leicester. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't know. There's something about De Bruyne, especially in that more advanced role. I think he can just run the show, get goals, assists. He's on penalties as well, which is just such a good thing. And hopefully he keeps up the penalty record, because obviously if you miss a penalty, you lose points. But yeah, it has to be between Salah and De Bruyne for me. And of course, Werner, yeah, he's got West Brom away, which on paper is the easiest fixture. But then again, Werner hasn't scored yet. Yeah, he has his moments. He's won 2 penalties, but I don't know, like in the second game, it's very hard to judge because it was Liverpool and they had 10 men. In the first game against Brighton, they scored 3 goals. He didn't even score one, but he had 5 shots inside the box. So it's just really difficult decisions to be made. And then with Son against Newcastle, yeah, he scored 4 goals against Southampton, but Newcastle, if they have any sense about them, they're not going to leave so much space in behind with a high line against the likes of Heung-min Son, because they'll just get destroyed, and then Son can get another maybe hat-trick. But yeah, I don't know, with Spurs, I have to wait and see. They also have 2 games, I believe, before the game at the weekend, in the Europa League qualifier and in the Carabao Cup. And yeah, of course, Son's not going to play all of them. That'll be a bit illogical. But I don't know, with Heung-min Son, out of those 4 players, I don't expect him to get the most points. I wouldn't say hopefully, but we'll see if he does something against Newcastle. If he does, that's better for my team. But then with the other 3, I don't know. I would expect them to outscore him, but you can't tell. I'm not a fortune teller. If I were, then I would know exactly what to do every single time, and obviously I don't. But I'm happy with the team, and the reason why I don't wildcard is because I think it's a bit of a luxury, and the -8 I think was the right decision. And moving forward, of course, I have some ideas. So, for example, if Werner blanks, like I said, Jimenez will probably come in. And maybe for the rest of the team, I'd try keep things the same. Of course, if I had the luxury of changing my keeper with the rest of my team being good, then yeah, maybe I'd change McCarthy. But I don't know. I think that's changing goalkeepers isn't something I would advise unless you're on a wild card. And of course, Basuma, he's suspended for 3 games or at least 2 games. And there have been some new options at 4.5 million arising, such as Oliver Burke for Sheffield, who's actually played up front. So that could be one of the best at that price bracket. And there's still Anguissa, who's just there to fill the numbers. And then, yeah, Justin I'm very happy with, but I'm not going to play him against Man City away. I'd rather even have Davis, who actually came on against Sheffield United, and he got a point. So, yeah, you know what? He's probably just going to be my first substitute. If not, I'll just switch Justin around. But apart from that, there's really not going to be any changes in this team. I'm very, very happy with it. And then going forward, I think it should be a good team, but things can change very quickly. I can't guarantee anything because we don't know yet. And yeah, another reason why I didn't decide to wildcard is because we've only seen 2 games. And then in the case of 4 teams, including Manchester City, Man United, Aston Villa and Burnley, we've only seen them play once. So it's very hard to tell who are the best options because so many are coming about. There's Podence at 5.5 million. There's Klitsch. There's Costa. There's so many choices you can go with. Zaha looks like a good option. Maybe Harvey Barnes is a good option. James Rodriguez. There's Salah, Mane, Aubameyang, De Bruyne, Sterling. But no one knows who's the best. There's still Bruno, who can do very well. Rashford, who I think is going to have a good season. Martial. But no one's really thinking about them now because United were really poor against Crystal Palace. But they're not going to be that poor every single week. So all of these things that I think about, it just makes me think, like, I can wait because I will have a better idea of who are the best assets to own and have a better idea of how each team is going to do this season. And that will help me prepare a good team for, pretty much the rest of the season, or at least until my second wildcard is available. So, and that's why I'm happy with the team. I don't think I need to make too many changes. I've got 70 plus points in both game weeks and I'm sitting around 300k, which is very good for the start of the season. So no complaints. Yeah, I'm taking a -8, so that's going to propel me. I'll probably get a red arrow for next week, but it's a 1 week thing, and it places me in good stead for the future, I believe. So yeah, that's my team, and I think I made the right decision, of course, otherwise I wouldn't be making it. But yeah, maybe the wildcard was the right option. I just think that there's a better time to use the wildcard in the case of my team. But in the case of all of you who ask, should I wildcard or stuff like that, it really depends. You have to ask yourself, do I need this wildcard? Do I want to change maybe 7 or more players? And that will get me a lot of points, not just for the game week coming up, but for the long run. And if the answer is yes, I need it, then yeah, maybe play it. But it's subjective, of course, and also it depends on the team you have and how you've been doing, and how your team is lining up for the next few weeks. So there's so many things to take into account, but be aware that with the small sample size we've had so far, it's very, very difficult to tell if the wildcard is going to be successful. Last year, I brought in a wildcard in game week 3, and guess what? It was a flop, and I immediately took a lot of hits to try rectify it, and I had to make up a lot of ground, and I ended up doing very well, but it could have been much worse because of the mistakes I made at the beginning of the season. So it's as simple as that, really. You just got to be certain, and hopefully your wildcards do pay off, but just bear in mind that some decisions might be wrong, and you always have to have a backup plan in mind, and that's what I'm hoping to do. With every single player here, I'm looking to have maybe a replacement lined up. But yeah, that's my team for Game Week 3. Let me know how yours is down in the comment section below, and let me know, is the wildcard the right decision for your team? And if you have any troubles, if you have any problems or suggestions you want me to make with your team, with your wildcards, then let me know. I've been doing this all week, pretty much discussing with all of you, so thank you for all the support. And yeah, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, share this video around with your friends and family, and let me know if you want me to do more team reveals in the future, because this is pretty much how my team's going to line up for this weekend. And yeah, good luck to all of you. Hopefully you do very well. And yeah, if you have a bad week, don't worry too much, because yeah, everyone has a bad week. I'll probably have one at some point. You just have to react well to it, and yeah, it's not always easy, but yeah, that's part and parcel of the game. But thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.